Frieza log. Stardate. This Earth is a strange place. Also a strange place that I find myself in. My plans have changed drastically, as is my outlook on everything. Hey folks, MasakoX here. Frieza's journey throughout everything is something that I am immensely proud of, and this story that I'm about to continue with has been quite possibly one of the most fascinating and enjoyable that I have ever done, due to the sheer amount of support and love that it has garnered in its short time around. Going from something that was derided and deemed impossible, we are getting people who are willing for entire arcs to be omitted or removed just so it can continue in its current guise. Well, I do intend to continue this adventure, which concerns one of the most nefarious characters in the entire Dragon Ball series, and one that was known for being utterly irredeemable, and then suddenly becoming somewhat redeemable. He will have a direct connection to Goku, and actually realize how far he has come, and whether he would want to continue in such a fashion as he arrives on the Saiyan's adopted homeworld. We ask once more, what if Frieza turned good? If you have just joined us, may I say welcome, and also hear me out. Some of you may think that this entire plot is not possible at all, due to how vicious and evil Frieza is, and on the first bounce, you are indeed correct. Frieza in his typical guise is completely twisted and totally a bad guy. He is one of the most, arguably, cruel and yet charismatic bad guys going in anime, and maybe even media in general. He's the kind of person that can charm you and then gut you if you're either not useful or are in his way. But if you take away all of his trappings that make him who he is, what are you left with? Pretty much next to nothing. Everything that makes up the image of Lord Frieza is stripped away, and it's quite wrenching for our character, and so he has to start over. And in that process, he becomes immediately aware of what his family is all about, and hates it. In this story, even his brother is becoming aware of this fact. He may be cooler, but he's not crueler, so it may seem. In the last part, we saw the looming presence of Trojan arrive at what was derelict space, but then turned out to be a Yardrat cloaked. Not realizing what was about to happen, Vegeta basically pointed Trojan in the direction of the Yardratian planet and ultimately doomed them all to destruction at the chaotic hand of Trojan. Even Cooler was left utterly terrified, and this is the guy who was the most methodical of all the children of King Cold. Either way, Frieza had felt this too, as did his crew, and it meant that they had to go to Earth to call upon the only person that could help them right now, and that was the guy who he had pulled a fast one on not that long ago, Goku. In the depths of what is now Trojan's ship, Vegeta is in his quarters. Well, I say quarters, it was more like a bolt hole, which was really meant for the average minion, but he was on his bunk looking absolutely sickened. What had he done? Despite not caring to return to Yardrat to complete his training, deeming it and them useless, he never intended for them to be erased from existence like that. So coldly, so suddenly, so much like his own people. What sort of ironic punishment was this? He doesn't shed a tear though, but he cannot help but have a somewhat vacant expression upon his face. Hours pass and his mood doesn't change. Before the door swings open, it's Cooler. Vegeta turns and spits onto the ground, as if to show what he thinks of him right now and his kind. Cooler thinks about making a quip about this, but chooses not to. Even he has been shaken by this turn of events. I wanted you to know, Vegeta, that I had no part in what happened. You could have stopped it. You and your transformation. Why didn't you? Cooler looks away, just like he did when Trojan blew up Yardrat. Silence cuts through the room. So, fear, just as I thought. You're nothing special. You can throw insults all you want, Vegeta, but it makes no difference. What happened has happened. It's not like you can go back and wish for all of this to be undone. Wait, Vegeta's eyes open. Wish. Dragon Balls. He had totally forgotten about them in the years that he had spent training and then working with Cooler. That's it. In his mind, he felt a torrent of relief, but he chose to stay calm, not attract too much attention. That's where you're wrong, Cooler. We can wish for this to be undone. What? What are you going on about? Has the melancholy meddled with your mind? Your brother was this close to achieving immortality by using Dragon Balls to wish for said trait. Cooler is unfazed. You're forgetting, Prince. Namek was destroyed, and the people of said world are now lost in the depths of space. What you speak of is sadly but an illusion. Earth has them. Earth? That speck of dust? Frieza was wrong to underestimate it. It is a world filled with powerful warriors. It taught me valuable lessons, and now it might provide us a valuable tool. Cooler, who had been standing in the doorway of Vegeta's quarters, enters fully, closing the door behind him, as if to show that he will listen. As soon as Vegeta had explained everything to Cooler, the brother of Frieza nods, having heard the prince's piece. He had not shown emotion throughout, choosing to let Vegeta have his say. Inside, he felt hope that maybe these Dragon Balls could maybe be used against his new twisted freak of a brother. But before he could process this any further, speak of the devil, Trojan summons him to the bridge. When he gets there, he is met with the image of second form Trojan cupping a glass of wine, looking out to the stars, almost aping their dearly departed papa. What kind of point was he trying to prove?
Tell me, brother, why do you put up with that ridiculous monkey?
He is useful. He has reached the power of the legendary Super Saiyan, as you experienced firsthand, and... He braces himself to say something he despised. Oh, so devastated, Lord Trojan.
I see. By the way, I thought I should enlighten you. We have changed our course. I have just announced it. It seems that we have recently gained new information about our brother's whereabouts.
Cooler scowls.
Oh, do you know it? It's a place called Earth.
Earth? Trojan turns to Cooler, his face looking much like King Cole's, but nowhere near as calm.
You seriously think that just because you're flesh and blood that I trust you? I cannot trust anyone. Not you, not my crew, not even my own now departed father. The only thing I can rely on completely and totally is my desire to blow my brother away, and maybe obtaining those Dragon Balls you mentioned.
Cooler is looking unsettled, something he rarely exhibited.
I heard everything, and now I'm in a spot of bother, brother. I am harbouring a monkey which is now no longer necessary. Be a dear and lead it to the nearest airlock and have done with it.
He motions a casual hand to the stars. Cooler doesn't move, nor does he speak. Trojan notices this.
Why do you not move?
Did what I say now not register? He is a Super Saiyan, the strongest being in existence. There is silence. Silence which Trojan hated. He was expecting his brother to add, "Except yourself, my lord." But that never happened. This aggravated Trojan, and he walked over to Cooler and grabbed him by the neck, pulling him up to eye level, his eyes manic.
I am the strongest being in existence, not that disgusting ape. Perhaps I didn't make myself clear. I am ordering you to throw it out into space. I am done with it.
You are a fool if you think I will ever do that. He is too powerful to throw away like that. Trojan shrieks with fury and slams Cooler into the side of the ship. Not just one wall collapses, but 24 walls. Trojan walking after him slowly, before coming to a stop above the barely conscious being of Cooler.
So, you're a goody-goody too, just like Frieza. If you defy me one more time, you will share the same fate as he. Now, sleep, brother.
He turns around and walks slowly back to the bridge, Cooler falling unconscious, and the ship now heading for Earth. Speaking of Earth, our heroes were still dealing with Dr. Gero in the background. With a now revived Goku, he had taken Broly to the lookout to show him something useful, leaving Frieza with an important task, a chance to prove himself trustworthy. My dear crew, entertain our guest Paragus while I am gone, doing the monkey's silly little test. I won't be long, it has to be done.
You can count on us, droidy boy. We know how to handle a crazy Saiyan.
You can perhaps ask that bandit over there to help you. His power may be small in comparison to mine, but you never know. He might prove to be entertaining. Yamcha can see Frieza glaring at him and gulps. Oh man, he hopes it's nothing bad. Frieza leaves, and Paragus senses an opportunity. With Broly and the protection of Goku, Paragus could perhaps escape, and maybe do some scheming. After a few minutes, Paragus starts a little bit of small talk, putting Kit and Chilai at ease. They exchange stories about the Frieza Force of old, and at first, all seems really content, until Paragus asks them a question. Did Frieza ever tell you how much he loved destroying entire civilizations? The mood changes quickly. Even Yamcha was looking serious. Kit leads.
You seem to be awfully eager to tell us. Enlighten us then.
Paragus wasn't expecting this response, but he rolled with it. He then explained all of the sadistic acts their boss had committed, and I mean all of them, and all of the unspeakable dreams he had for his empire, which had been ingrained in every major Saiyan general going, which he had been back in the day. And Yamcha was even more scared of Frieza now. He had breathed the same air as this mass destroyer. With Frieza distracted, I could take your place as captain and lead you towards a much more prosperous existence. No longer hiding in the shadows like your boss does. No catch, no traps. What do you say? Do we have a deal? He outstretches a hand to Kit, who doesn't take it. The engineer looks ashen-faced. Paragus senses victory. I do hate to burst your bubble, friends, but you are dealing with the greatest villain the universe has ever seen.
Let me get one thing absolutely clear before you say another word. I don't take kindly to creeps like yourself.
Paragus's eye widens. What was that supposed to mean?
What? I ain't finished. I had a bad feeling about you from the moment I first laid eyes on you. Your kid's a good boy. Nothing like yourself. You treat him like he's some kind of caged animal. Strike one.
Chilai then steps up and walks to Kit's side.
On the first sign of an escape plan, you try to bargain your way out of a problem, mostly abandoning your own son. Strike two.
Paragus is looking a little concerned and is preparing to charge a ki blast to shut these oafs up. But then he's met with an arm lock by Yamcha. Strike three. You resort to violence against two unarmed and defenseless people. Looks like you're out of luck. He knocks Paragus out with a sudden chop to the neck. Kit and Chilai are mesmerized to see Yamcha, someone who looked so cowardly and meek, just become so brave and steadfast. Well, even if your boss is Frieza, there's no way that I could tolerate him trying to hurt you. Kit nods and pats Yamcha on the shoulder.
Yamcha, you're alright, but I must say, you could have helped sooner. I've never been so frightened in all my life.
Chilai then gives Yamcha the okay sign. Yamcha then asks why they would help Frieza of all people.
He saved our lives. He saved my life. He's not like the madman you once heard about. Trust me.
Yamcha takes what Chilai has to say seriously. Meanwhile, Gero has arrived at his lab and began the process to activate androids 17 and 18, which is ultimately successful. Outside, the Dragon team including Trunks try to figure out what to do. Without Vegeta, the idea to go in all out is not coming up to the top. Trunks is slamming the door out of desperation, but is halted by a sudden arrival. I would stand back if I were you. They all turn to spot Frieza, or what looked like Frieza. Piccolo and Gohan are stunned to see the robotic parts to which the former Emperor had acquired, and he rolls his eyes. Yes, I know, I get it, I'm part mechanical. This is not the time or place. I am here to prove to your monkey friend that I am here to help. So what are we doing? Piccolo slowly explains the situation, still utterly bewildered that Frieza was here on their side. Frieza nods casually and positions himself by the door and about to fire, but then Gohan asks him a question.
Why are you helping my dad? You tried to kill him before.
Frieza closes his eyes. I did. There is no escaping that. I don't deny it. Nor do I beg for forgiveness. That would be pointless and insulting for you. What speaks more is the here and now, and what I must do to get it through your daddy's thick head that I am not the enemy here. My brother, though.
Brother?
No more questions, hisses Frieza before the door explodes and Jiro spots Frieza. This is when Frieza turns on the charm. Good day, dear doctor. Jiro, was it? I believe that you are in the possession of some tin cans that cannot be allowed to exist. Speaking as one robotic life form to another, I'm afraid I cannot let you go any further. Jiro nods.
I never expected to see you here, Lord Frieza, and looking so different.
You can drop the Lord moniker. That is in the past. I am here for your androids. Bring them to me. Jiro laughs before opening the pods, introducing them to the Dragon team and Frieza, before then realizing why he had locked them away in the first place. And they rebel, opening 16's pod, and Jiro loses his head. Literally. 17 spots Frieza and is taken aback. Well, I'll be. What are you, Tin Can? Another one of the good doctor's experiments? That wouldn't surprise me. He clearly rushed your design. Frieza laughs his typical laugh. Far from it, Pipsqueak. I am here to end your pathetic lives. You are in my way. 17, usually quite the boisterous fellow, decides to take up the challenge head on. 18 rolls her eyes and sits down with the now woken Android 16.
What is the point of this, sister? Aren't we supposed to eliminate Son Goku and Son Goku only?
I don't know, big guy. Just let him swing his... whatever. Meanwhile, 17 powers up and punches Frieza out of the lab, leaving the Dragon team overwhelmed. But wait, the Emperor hasn't even started yet. Good, you have some get up and go. That will make your ultimate demise all the more satisfying. It was quite clear to all present that despite Frieza's allegiance being different, he still had a vicious streak about him. As that was going on, Goku and Broly had teleported to the lookout thanks to Goku's instant transmission. Broly was mesmerized by the wonderful architecture on display and the silence. For the first time in his life, he experienced total calm. He liked this feeling.
Ah, Goku, I had been expecting you and your friend, said an amiable Kami.
Yep, this is Broly. He and I want to go in the time chamber and train. Kami swallows hard, remembering the last time Goku had gone in there, when they were training before the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament.
Are you sure that is wise? You could barely go a couple of months in there, and I sense young Broly's mind being even more unsettled than yours was. But I do know that I can't stop you from going in, but I hope you know what you are doing.
Goku nods, looking focused. I got this, old man. I feel a strong power within Broly, and I want to tap into it and get him up to speed. Kami nods and smiles, placing a hand on Goku's shoulder.
I understand. It's been a wild ride with you. You've made this old fool's life rather exciting these last few years. Thank you.
Goku is confused with the resignation in Kami's voice and why he said what he said, but he's then distracted by Mr. Popo, who is readying the door to the chamber. In a few seconds, Goku and Broly were inside, ready to train. Now, much like what we did in the What If Broly Was in the Android Saga series, Goku is planning a different tack. He is going up against a brick wall in Broly. He's also a guy who doesn't like to fight, something that was imposed on him from his father. So, like in the previous story, Goku focuses on building up Broly's defenses to make him basically an impenetrable wall. Only after a few months of this does Broly start to get the Saiyan twinkle in his eyes for fighting, but not before Goku experienced the raw and unstoppable force of a wrathful Broly. It had taken Goku to the brink of death before Broly stopped himself by the skin of his teeth. This had greatly strengthened Goku's power, as well as Broly's control in himself. Everything was coming up Broly. Meanwhile, the battle with Frieza and 17 is intensifying, with Frieza starting to toy with the android. The teenager is getting more and more aggravated, despite his Infinity Engine keeping him at bay from exhaustion. Frieza was just non-stop. What is your deal, you freak? You got some infinite power thing or something? No, I take myself seriously. Something you seem to be failing at spectacularly. With that, Frieza slaps 17 across the face repeatedly, much like what Goku did to him on Namek. It was nice to be on the other side of that for once. 18 and 16 were now looking concerned.
Frieza's power is increasing. This is bad, mutters Piccolo.
Why is that bad, Mr. Piccolo? He's on our side.
For now, Gohan. This is Frieza we're talking about. We're powerless against him. If he were to turn on us, we'd have no chance.
What about Dad?
He's taken that other Saiyan to the lookout. I think I know what he's up to. He can't help right now. As they're talking, Trunks is skulking around behind Android 18 and decides to use this diversion to attack her. This is the end of the line for you, monster! 18 turns and catches Trunks' sword.
Big mistake, kiddo.
She punches Trunks through several rock faces. Piccolo and the others sense this. Looks like they have to go help. 16 does not move. He is steadfast in his mission to only attack Son Goku. With Trunks, Piccolo, Gohan, Tenshinhan, and Krillin on 18, 17 can sense his sister in a spot, but Frieza will not let him bounce. Your quarrel is with me. You started this, young lad, and I will finish it. As that is going on, Kami communicates with Piccolo, telling him to report to the lookout at once to discuss something. Piccolo doesn't want to leave because he's in the middle of something, sensing that 18 is on the ropes. They could actually end this right now without Goku. But the Elder Namekian is insistent, saying that this could be a good counter to Frieza, what he has to say, as well as another threat looming in the distance. This gets Piccolo's attention. So, Piccolo breaks off without saying a word. In the distance, a bugman is drinking the biomass of countless citizens, but is also focused on a battle going on hundreds of miles away. Could that be his siblings in trouble? Possibly. But he's too weak to help just now. Well, not effectively. He must feed still. But one power he can sense intrigues him. I never expected to meet that one. This will be fun once I am ready to pounce. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you guys think? What does Cell plan on doing with Frieza? Will Frieza not pull a Vegeta and do the job against 17? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!